When I talk about the pricing of a product, I'm not doing so from a place of defending the megacorp. That's not helpful to you, the viewer. Megacorps are greedy. Megacorps are not working in your best interest, regardless of what market they're in. That's not the point. The point is to educate you so that you know what you're talking about, but also can make the best decision as a consumer. So that's why when I saw so many people getting outraged about the prices of graphics cards, and I try to provide some context as to why they're not too expensive, I'm doing so out of the interest of best informing you. Because if you're lying to yourself or otherwise confusing yourself or others based on your stances of how something is priced, you're doing yourself a disservice as the consumer in choosing a product, and you're also affecting everyone else's ability to do so based on believing you or joining in the angry mob. That's the case with the NVIDIA cards. I'm still sticking to this. A commenter brought this up, so I actually went back and looked, having remembered buying a lot of these cards myself. I went back and did the math. Let's start. Everyone references how cheap the 10 series cards were, and someone specifically brought up the 1080 Ti. Now, the 80 Ti class of cards is not the same as the 90 or the Titan class of cards. It's already a tier lower, but we're going to start there. The GTX 1080 Ti launched in 2016 for a MSRP of $700. That was 6 years ago now. Ooh, I'm old. Time flies too fast. Adjust that for inflation. That $700 becomes just under $900. It's like $860 something. $863, I believe. I'll have it on screen. I don't have it in my memory. It's just under $900. That's right up there with where the current launch of the 80 cards are. Slightly more now. The Titan of that generation, the Titan X Pascal, had an MSRP of $1,200. These are all in USD. Adjusted for inflation, that becomes $1,500, the price of the 3090, and $100 less than the 4090. Jumping back even further to the last 90 card, the GTX 690, which was actually, it wasn't one graphics card, or one GPU rather. It was dual GPUs on one card. So theoretically, one of the more expensive parts to the build was doubled, cost double, effectively, in a way. But we're not including that. But it launched with an MSRP of $999. 10 years ago. Adjust that for inflation, you get about $1,200. Prices haven't increased that much within the adjustment for the US dollar increasing. Yes, prices have inflated. Prices have indeed inflated. But that's globally. That's across the board. The US dollar value has inflated. The Titan, the same class of card that the 4090 is, in 2016 cost maybe $100 less. And that extra $100 is 100% eaten up by everything else in the global spectrum. We've got tariffs. We've got COVID. We've got never-ending shipping issues at the moment still. We've got entire fabrications having to shut down due to heat waves in China. It's literally more expensive to make things at the moment and ship them and sell them. We've seen that across the board. And this is where I get frustrated. Because I don't care if you're mad at company X, Y, or Z for being greedy. NVIDIA has been plenty greedy. They arbitrarily lock things behind software for no reason, such as virtualization, SRIOV, lots of those features that are just software locks that work perfectly fine on the graphics card, in-Vink sessions, as I'm constantly ranting about. They do a lot of those things to artificially segment their product stacks to get more money out of people. That's corporate greed or structure, totally fine. Prices on the global economic scale increasing is not the fault of any one company. And I keep seeing this. Whenever the tariffs were first introduced a couple years ago, people were going after the GoXLR people and companies like that for their prices suddenly increasing because literally everything was getting more expensive to bring into the US. It wasn't just them. So of course they were affected by it. You are doing yourself a disservice as a consumer to just blindly rage at companies or act out, I guess, based on pricing without considering the context of that pricing. Inflation is a huge problem right now. It has gone up. Prices have gone up. It's not NVIDIA's fault. And again, based on the numbers, pricing has barely really increased. It's worth thinking about. Now, I firmly believe that the 4080 versus 4080 12 gig situation is nonsense. They absolutely need to change that name in some way because it does nothing but it just causes pure consumer confusion. And they have released some early benchmarks of these cards, and you can see the 3080 12 gig performing a fair bit under the 3080 16 gig, and that 4 gigabytes of difference does not make up that performance loss. Now, the card still performs amazingly, beating the 3090 and matching, in many cases, the 3090 Ti with half the VRAM and for significantly less money than they MSRP'd at. But if something is too expensive for you, do not feel pressured to buy it, especially for a gaming luxury product, especially when the used market is honestly better than it's ever been, especially with the crypto crash and all the GPUs flooding the market right now. You can get a 3090 for $1,000. There's not going to be better value than that right now. That's what the 6900 XT MSRP'd at. Now, they have lowered it because not enough people were buying them, but the MSRP for the 6900 XT was $1,000. So, like I said, so many people go into blind rages, accuse people of being shills and defending the megacorps. That's not what it's about. It's about you're literally wrong, and that affects your purchasing decisions and the mindset you go in when buying products for yourself. And that's just hurting your experience. And I see no point in letting you believe that or not trying to address it because it's just wrong. It's anti-consumer to play on that. Like that's, there's market manipulation from company sides of trying to increase prices and get you to believe that you're buying a better value for more money. But there's also manipulation of just turning people against the popular company or whatever by playing on these things that if you actually look into them more are not all that true. So yeah, the 4090 costs $100 more than historically its tier of card costs. Whether we're talking 3090 or Titan X Pascal, and only a couple $100 more than the 690, the last 90 card. It's more expensive to manufacture. There's a ton more going on globally, and there's a ton more going on in the card itself. So yeah, prices went up a little bit. The card went up a little bit. But not what everyone seems to think.